Okay, so the song you gave me is Stand Up or Sit Down by the Kidney Flowers. It came out middle of September last year on Never Found Records. It's roughly 2 minutes long. And the Kidney Flowers are a band from Glasgow. And Stand Up or Sit Down is the fourth and final single released ahead of their second album, Burn Your Furniture, which came out about a week after the single did. And it's the fifth song from that album. On that album, sequentially. Before listening to a single note of their music, I checked out their Facebook page, and according to the description, they're a group of musically primitive fast food enthusiasts. So, admittedly, this description's a bit vague, but it does suggest they play some sort of DIY garage rock and or punk, but with a bit of a cheeky wink. And on first listen, Stand Up or Sit Down is pretty much exactly that. The guitar riffs are nice and scuzzy, the bass is a satisfying grunt, and there's a catchy stomp to the drums. It's got proper rock and roll swagger to it as well. It reminds me of stuff like Jets, Are You Gonna Be My Girl, or the Fratelli's Chelsea Dagger. Just, it's straying into that kind of banger territory. Perhaps not as heavily produced as those songs, but definitely reminds me of those. The vocals are sort of shouty post-punk, and the lyrics are class. And because there's only 3 or 4 different lines in the whole song, it's pretty easy to join in with. There's the opening salvo of "Say that you love it, but it smells like you hate it. It fits you like a fucking shoe," followed by the gang vocal shout of "Stand Up or Sit Down." It's a great moment. And then there's lyrics that are "Wearing a milkshake, you'll be wearing a milkshake," which is such a ridiculous threat, and it reminded me a lot of Post-Punk Experiment number 3 by the Wife Guys of Reddit, that we talked about last time. And then the final moment of the song is my favourite part, where they just shout the word arsehole, which is gotta be one of the best endings to a song ever. I think just being at a gig and just shouting arsehole at the end of a song would be pretty amazing. It's pretty much just a straightforward rocking good time. It's punchy, it's rowdy, get a room bouncing, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. Doesn't reinvent the wheel, but I can't really fault it, so I've given it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'd originally wanted to give you Mutiny. I think that must have been the third single released from the album, but by the time of recording, Stand Up or Sit Down was the newest single, so that's what I kind of plumped for. But have you had a chance to listen to the album itself?
No, not properly. What I did do is just kind of skip through some of the tracks just to get the gist of what it sounds like, and it sounds like it'd be pretty good, like it's quite similar to this, and just it does sound like pretty decent.
It's kind of more of the same, but it's absolutely fantastic. I immediately fell in love with Mutiny. Similar to this song and similar to how you've kind of described it, and in my notes here, I've kind of described it as almost having a bit. This song in particular, actually, Stand Up or Sit Down, almost has a kind of like scuzzy, psychobilly swing and swagger to it. It just feels really, as you said, really raw and raucous, and there's smacks of that throughout the album. Mutiny in particular, and I hope you don't think less of me for this, but it actually reminded me of a song from. It's an old Russell Crowe movie called Romper Stomper. Right. Do you remember that?
It rings a bell, but I don't.
So it's about neo-Nazis, about neo-Nazis and skinheads. And obviously the kind of soundtrack has some pretty kind of choice songs on there and choice lyrical content. It's not a racist movie, but there's one song on there called Skinhead, and Mutiny is like almost like very, very similar in vibe. And okay, Skinhead song is obviously a terrible fascist song, but it's definitely got that same kind of vibe to it, and it's just got this real bark to it, like bark in the vocals that I really, really enjoyed. And I'd love to see them live. I think if you kind of look at the description online, I think they've kind of been touted as kind of one of the best kind of live acts in the kind of Scottish music scene at the moment. And luckily, on a Facebook post from the 25th of March, so just towards the end of last month, they stated that their new album is 75% finished, and that they were returning to the studio this month, so they'll be in the studio now. They're going to be doing a few small tours in May and June, including a trip to Bradford to play at the Neon Zebra Festival and a headline show in Manchester's the Talleyrand, and hope to do some gigs up in Scotland and England too, so I very much think that we should get ourselves down there, wherever they're playing, to go see them. They've also said that Grant is still bald. Coincidentally, there is a song on the album that is entitled "A Bald at 5." Abby is still the coolest, and Tog still smokes a lot of doobs. So all's well in the Kidney Flowers camp.
Okay, well, good. Yeah, I think I would like to try and catch them live. I'm definitely going to have a listen to the album. So yeah, that was the Kidney Flowers, Stand Up or Sit Down.
Say that you love, but it smells like you hate. It fits you like a fucking shoe. Stand up or sit down. Wearing a milkshake. You will be wearing a milkshake.
You'll share man's greatest thrill. And tried and failed and failed. They tried and died. You're dealing with